So this is So Your Parents Are Old. Thank you so much for coming back to hear our show. I am Vanessa Gregoriadis. And when our parents get old, it can be sad. It can feel hopeless, upsetting, but it can also be really, really funny. Comedian Kathleen Madigan has joked a lot about her parents getting old, from their ineptitude with technology to the truly astonishing amount of medication they were prescribed, to the time her dad calmly drove himself to the hospital when he was maybe having another heart attack. She has been telling these jokes and many more in her many stand-up specials. She's been on all the late night shows, Last Comic Standing, lots more, about to go on tour. We are going to have her tour dates in the show notes. So, Kathleen, welcome.
Well, thank you very much. It's nice to be here. It's a fun subject. Uh,
At times, that's for sure. So,
well,
what
at
led,
times it's very sad. I get it, but so it's
yeah,
such is life. Can't live forever.
it's
Yeah.
true. Suffering is part of it. Your parents and your suffering. So, when did you decide to be a comedian? What led you to this oh so strange profession?
Well, you remember that Joy of Painting guy, Bob, on the Joy of Painting?
Yeah.
He would always say when he painted, "There's no mistakes. There's only happy accidents." That was his thing, happy accidents. And mine was literally a happy accident. Like I was working at a restaurant and a bar, and we used to be able to have like a drink or two when we got finished with work to count our money and all that. And then they stopped that because somebody got too hammered. I don't know. So me and this guy Mike, another bartender, we would go over to the comedy club to have drinks when we got off work, like on Mondays and Tuesdays when we got off early. And that happened to be when open mics were. And
Hmm.
we would just sit in the back. We knew the waitresses, servers, and everybody, and we would just sit in the back and drink a couple beers and watch. And me and Mike were both like, "Gosh, I think we said something funnier today than what I'm
Uh,
seeing." Because open mics can be massive train wrecks. I mean,
yeah,
sometimes almost like
excruciating.
excruciatingly mentally aware of this person's crazy. I mean, like
Yeah,
singing, you don't know that. You go to open singer night in Nashville, you don't know the person's crazy. You can tell in
right.
stand up, like, oh my God. And so then he and I were like, well, we should just try it. We just did it as a lark. And then there was like a locally famous guy that came up, and I knew him from TV commercials and radio and all that. And he was like, you should keep coming back because you can actually do this and make money. And money to me, I had to pay for my own college. There's a lot of kids in my family. Money meant a lot. And I'm like, how much money? Like I wanted to know. So mine wasn't like a lot of people say, oh, I dreamt of being a comedian. Like I didn't even know that was a job. Like when I would watch Johnny Carson and say an old guy like Buddy Hackett came on, I just thought he was a funny friend of his. I
Yeah,
didn't understand. Or if Joan Rivers came on, I just thought she was a funny lady who Johnny happened to know. I
right,
didn't
right, right.
understand that she's going to go to Vegas and make 50 grand this week doing that. I don't know. In the Midwest, nobody told us it was a job.
So
So
wait,
I
how old
just
were you when this happened?
22, probably. Yeah, 22.
So you had already been to college, and what did you study in college?
I was a journalism major and I had a day job, which I put together a magazine for a private, like fancy, like a men's club. Like it would be like the New York Athletic Club, but it was called the St. Louis Athletic Club. So the Missouri Athletic Club. And they have an in-house 40-page magazine. It's just kiss ass articles. And, you can
What,
imagine. And
like Steven is lifting so much this month, or
well,
like,
well, well, I got really desperate. So I sent out an email to the entire roster of members and said, if you've done anything fantastic this year, please let me know. And a lot of them are very rich. And boy, I mean, one guy climbed Mount Everest, so
mhm.
I had stories like I
Yeah, yeah,
found
yeah,
stuff, but you got to know how to find it. But I found it.
right.
I did
Yeah,
a fine
yeah.
job. I did a fine job. I just didn't like, I didn't really love it. And I was making way more I still bartended at night. And I'm like, I'm making way more but my dad would go, what are you going to be, a 50-year-old bartender? I go, no, I'm going to be a 50-year-old bar owner.
Right.
That's where you're missing the leap here, Jack. I'm going to go get a small business loan as a first time women first business loan. I'm going to apply for that. I'm going to open Madigan's Pub and bam. That
So
was the plan.
what was your persona as a bartendress? Were you like the funny, sort of like complimenting, comforting one, or were you the badass who was just telling everybody off all night?
Somewhere in between all that, it would depend on the recipient. Like I had my old local guys, they all worked at the racetrack or whatever, and it was very personal with them. And then if it's a Saturday and it's insane, then I'm a little more badass. I'll do what you need me to do when I say so. That's the
And
great part about being a bartender. You can always throw people out. That's why I hated waiting tables. In the restaurant part, it's just mean people that are hungry and they're crabby, and I can't throw them out. The bar, awesome. As soon as
yeah,
I found out the bar, I'm like, make me a bar back when I was 18. I need to learn how to do all this. And then the minute I turned 21, boom,
yeah.
I'm in the bar.
So what were your early jokes that you went on stand up with? What killed in those early years? What
Well, me
didn't
and
kill?
Mike's well, me and Mike sat through a lot of open mic nights drinking our beers, right? So I would always, when young people go, I want to start comedy, but I don't know what I should do. Go to open mic night and sit there time after time after time. So you understand what is supposed to be happening. Doesn't mean
Yeah.
it is happening, but you get the idea of, oh, okay. So I think like the first time I thought about it, I thought, well, I'll just do jokes about waiting tables. And I did a bunch of that. And then I said I'm from a big family. And I think I did a few Catholic jokes. And then I had a Mike Tyson joke. Well, I had a Don King joke, which I still think is pretty funny. I go,
What's it? What is it?
I love Don King because I don't know how you get your hair to do what Don's does. I guess you just walk into a barber and go, I want to look like I'm always falling out of a building.
That's
It's just,
awesome.
I mean,
Yeah. He's like,
it's so stupid, but he was very popular at the time, and Mike
he had the
Tyson was very popular.
troll, he had that troll haircut. Yeah.
Straight up. Like, do you just shave it like that? I don't know how big the hair was to begin with. I don't know,
You don't
but
see
it
a lot of that anymore. That
no
haircut, even though social media brings like every haircut known to man to the fore and trending for a minute, don't see that
no
troll Don King haircut. It's
no,
really
it
true.
didn't. It never caught on.
So, do you think that comedians are better at laughing at their own misfortunes, or you think it's selective laugh, like selective misfortunes? There's still stuff that's like sort of buried deep. I'm not going to go there. I won't make jokes about that thing.
Yeah, I think everybody's got that. I mean, I guess I don't. The people I know do like bad divorces or family stuff where they're just like and there's just nothing ever funny about it. When people say you can find funny in it, I don't agree with
Right.
that. There's some stuff that's just not funny. but
Yeah.
but I mean maybe other people feel differently, but that's how I feel about it.
So, did you joke about your parents from the beginning,
Oh
and
yeah. Oh
what
yeah.
did you do?
Well, at the time, they were turning like 48 at the time, and so was Mick Jagger. So going on 50, and he was going on a world tour. And then I joked about, I can't imagine my parents on a world tour. And then I just did my impression of my parents. Like they can't even get from St. Louis to Kansas City properly. Like without this being an enormous ordeal, and we all have to get involved. And I'm like, yeah, but that Mick Jagger is same age as you two, world tour. I mean, I know he's got people, but we are your people. You got people, and you're still not doing this right. Like, so it started way back then.
I mean, what's so funny is like when you see those memes, like the Golden Girls, they were all under 50 or something at the time they were on that show. Or you'll see like, any picture of any band, right? When they're in
Right,
their 40s, they look now like they're in their 70s. Because we all now, 40s, 50s women, we somehow have to look like 20s and 30s. I look at my
right.
teenage daughter, I'm like, yeah, I just look a lot uglier than you, but I'm not sure that I actually look like 33 years older than you, you know?
Right. It's a lot. Yeah. I remember one of my grandpas turning 50 way back when I was a little kid. And I remember thinking, whoa, like he's almost dead. Like we're having a party? Like, I don't know, man. Maybe we should, think of like eat because just they just age differently and all that. But like I don't look at all these old people out on tour now that are, 80, 82. It's crazy. I mean, it's hopeful for the rest of us, I guess, that we can go do whatever. If you do it, enough dance moves every night of your life, you could be Mick Jagger.
I know. I feel like 80 is sort of like the boundary. Like there's really a 50-50 shot after 80 if you're going to be like totally decrepit, the mind's gone, the body's gone, who knows
Right.
what's happening, or you're like tripping the light fantastic, out there, living your best life. Like these are
Yeah,
my last years. I'll seize the day.
that's what they should tell kids like in high school. They should show them movies of because people always go, "Well, I'm gonna," myself included. Like I smoked and drank, and I still drink. I don't smoke anymore, but you tell a teenager a threat like, "Hey, smoking is going to kill you." Well, we're all going to die anyway. That's sort of the well, yeah, but smoking also can give you a stroke, and here's a picture of that, a little movie of that. And if you don't smoke, and here's one of my friends' mom, Mary Claire McHugh, who's playing golf at 92 and walking fine. It doesn't have oxygen issues, and it's about how you're going to live. We're all
Yeah.
gonna die, yes, but if they should show teenagers, like, in high school, in health class, like, here's the stuff that can happen if you do A, B, C, D, and E. If you don't do them, no guarantees, but probably a lot less that would I would have paid attention to that. I'm not gonna pay
Yeah.
attention to, "That's gonna kill you." Everything will kill you. I
Right.
mean,
No, it's true, but we have such like a youth-focused culture that you also have to think that part of the problem is just like old people are sort of like shoved in a closet, not shown on TV, unless they're Joe Biden. I mean, people were like so shocked. They were like, "What's wrong with this guy?" I was like, "Have you ever seen like a guy who's 80 years old who's stuck on planes every day
yeah,
of his life?" Like I'm surprised he could even shuffle. I'm surprised he wasn't falling down like every week, you
I
know?
don't even know how, and I will say for Trump, uh the energy that is being expelled at 79. Larry Ellison's 81. He's going to buy TikTok. An 81-year-old is going to buy TikTok. What? What? Like, I love it, but I have to learn it for work. Like, let's say I didn't, well, I probably would still like it anyway, but I like all that stuff. But we are being dominated by 80 somethings.
By the gerontocracy. But I mean, what if Larry Ellison decides that he's going to change the algorithm to just be like 1950s music and he's going to want all your comedy sets about your parents? He's just going to be like,
He
I'm
can,
in control of this. It's no
right?
more like beauty tutorials and like
No,
memes about like,
no, all
you
my
know,
cat videos, like, I love looking at all that. I like all the animal ones, and I like the tourist ones, and I wanna go to Aurelius Borealis. I don't even know where the Northern Lights are. Like, yeah, he could change and destroy or recreate or make it better. I mean, he could do I just don't I'm a little tired, especially seeing when my parents at 81, now she's 83, he passed away. That at 81, no, no, no. You guys can't be in charge of anything. No.
yeah,
No, no, no,
right.
no, no. Like, I would have let my younger brother become president, but I would have had my dad check his homework every Friday. Like, I still think my
Right.
dad's smarter than my brother, but
Yeah.
my dad at 81 could not keep up the daily pace and a
Right.
pretty active guy, but it's 81. But why,
Well,
I mean, why are we denying all this? I don't
I
understand why
think there
we're.
should be an upper age limit. There's a lower age
I,
limit, right? Like there should
I,
nobody, the reason there's not an upper age limit or there's not like money for nursing homes or all of the crazy stuff that goes on in this last decade of your life is nobody thought anybody was going to live this long. Like the
no.
founders would have had no problem putting in, they would have been like 60, 50. They were just like, everybody dies. Like we all have horrible communicable diseases. Like,
They
let's
would
just
have put in 50, and by then too, you're gonna have wooden teeth. Enjoy that. I mean, you won't even have any teeth by 30. Your teeth
exactly.
are
I
gone.
mean, maybe it's just like you have to have all your own teeth to be president. Like I am
Yeah.
sure there are some non-real teeth like in the back of, but Donald Trump, I mean, it is part of what I think creates his power is he's just like this old dude who's seen everything. He's been back and forth across every nasty business, problem in the United States, now governmental problem. And he's just like, I'm a mean old guy, just
Yeah.
to bring
Well,
it.
and he doesn't drink or smoke, so that'll keep you going. But like he flew to London to be part of the royal thing and all that. And he's now this morning at the UN yelling at people. And like I would have been like at his age, I'm like, well, I'm going to do one of those this month, but
Yeah.
not both. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't care if you're in Air Force One. I don't care if you're in a private jet. You still have to fly it. You still have to get on that plane. Try to
Right.
sleep. Good luck.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
or
I
the
just think
Qatari
I think
plane. The Qatari, I mean, maybe
right,
that plane like gives you
right,
like new oxygen, or like there's like
maybe.
a blood of virgins thing in the back that it just like pumps into your. But so your parents, were they always a source of comedy from the time you were really little? Like tell me what they were like. Or they were, one of them is still alive, no past tense.
Yeah. Yeah. No, my dad passed away. My mom's still here. And she's fine. I mean, for 83, soon to be 84, she's fine. She gets around, she still drives and all. She's a volunteer at the hospital. We made her like, you got to get off your ass and do
But
something.
do you pay her bills? Do you do her paperwork?
My brother does.
Okay. Yeah.
He's a finance guy. I would fuck it all up. Like,
I
I should
mean,
not, like, you don't want me in charge of like your
see, this is
online
where
banking. No,
this
no,
is
no,
what,
no,
so
no.
I'm an only child, which believe
Oh,
me,
no.
it
Oh,
has
no,
a
no,
lot
no.
of benefits, early on benefits, like so much attention. Every gift is for me. Like college gets paid for, things like that you just can't have when you're in a big family you get as an only child. But then this part is so
Oh,
excruciating. I have
awful.
nobody, because it's like nor everybody says that. My sister does the finances, I do the
Mhm.
emotions, the other person does like the care in the home or whatever. I have to do it all. There's nobody else. Nobody wants to help, believe me. There's not a human being
No.
alive who I honestly don't even know if you could pay somebody to help you with this.
Well,
Like,
well, that's the thing. I think there should be, it may exist, but like figuring out the healthcare and what will be covered. My dad had a bunch of strokes and hospitals and a care center and this and that. You have to do these appeals. How come I can't? Maybe I can. And we Googled it though. At least in the state of Missouri, it wasn't existing. You should be able to hire a service
right.
that every dime you save me, you get 20% of whatever we agree on, right? And you get a $500, $1,500, whatever deposit. Here's how much it costs, and you do that because
Yeah,
the
because
last thing
because it
in the world
takes
you want to do is spending your last remaining time me filling out appeals so my dad can get another MRI or whatever bullshit that
I
went on.
know, because I honestly think it takes so much time and it's so frustrating that it would have to be like 200 bucks an hour or something. Like somebody just like, and then they're like
Well, yeah,
multi-factor authentication to your phone. And then you're like, to my parents' phone? Where? Oh my God, let me go get
wow,
that. Like, it's just, there's HIPAA and there's this and there's that.
yeah,
I mean, you could have like a bookkeeper assistant, I guess, but I think like everything else in this country, all of those services are going to be built in for the very rich, and
yes,
everybody else is just going to
you're
be
on
like,
your own.
I'm calling it the third shift now because it's like the first shift is his job, the second shift is my kids, and then the third shift is elder care. How
Yeah.
is there even enough time in the day to actually?
Nope. And we said, so I have six siblings that everybody's married or has a partner. And throughout my dad's like 2 years stroke event, let's call it that, every, some people stepped up, some in-laws stepped up that I wasn't expecting at all. Some people did not do as much as I had anticipated. Very disappointing.
Yeah.
Terrible grades on that one. But there's 14 adults to
Right.
draw from.
Yeah.
And I kept saying to my younger sister, who probably does the most, I'm like, if you're an only child, how do you do this? Like we were struggling sometimes to go, who's going to go get mom or who's going over there to blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, Amy's busy, Joe's busy, Patrick's working, I don't know how you guys are going to do it. I used to
Yeah.
bitch that being one out of seven No one paid any attention, which was fine. I'm not like an attention whore, but there really wasn't any focus. Like nobody ever asked me how I was feeling. What? Like, no,
Yeah.
they
Wait,
don't.
so where are you in the hierarchy? Are
I'm in the
you
I'm in the
in the
middle,
middle? Okay,
like,
so you
which
got
was fine.
forgotten
Yeah, yeah,
completely.
yeah. It was more of a pack mentality. Like, if you have any friends that have multiple dogs, it's always
Yeah,
like, what are we going to do with the dogs as a
right.
group? That's, and not that my parents treated us like dogs in a bad way, more like dogs in a good way. Like, oh, let's take the dogs to Florida. Okay. And then we all jump in a station wagon. So sometimes when you're little, one of seven isn't quite what you hope for. But as time has gone on, I mean, I don't know how only children, I don't get, or even if there's two of you,
No,
it's,
it's like we need a tax credit just for us, an only
you should get
child,
one. You should
an
get
only,
one.
oh yeah, they're giving those out again to
Th-
mostly to the billionaires, but
you guys should. And even as somebody who would not get that credit, I would not begrudge that credit. I
thank
would
you.
be
I
like, they
appreciate
should
that.
get it. I'll chip in. I got this whole thing going over here, but that, your guys' deal, and then like
Yeah.
a friend of mine, her mom has had dementia really bad. It went on for quite some time. She had two siblings, and one just didn't do anything. Uh, So it
Yeah.
sometimes even having
Well,
two or three
right.
isn't really the answer. Seven, you know, you're going to get at least three winners.
Seven, you're gonna get somebody for sure. I
Yeah,
think that that's the thing is that in some cases it's good because it's all the decisions are mine. If I want to pay for
I
this,
thought,
this is what I'm gonna pay for. If I want to not pay for that, that's what I'm not paying for. Nobody's like bothering me. I don't have to hear about like or think about like my sister in Michigan, damn it, she never comes down here. Why am I stuck with this? Blah 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 blah. I'm gonna write her out of the will, like all the crazy things that happen, right?
right, right.
Around families and death and money. I mean, it's like when I went to talk to somebody about like my mom's will and is everything in like a good order and blah blah blah, they were like, great, only child, nice, like
Yeah.
the lawyers love
Well,
hearing it.
that's the problem when there's seven. There's too many voting, too many votes that are being taken. But for some shocking reason, when things got really weird, we didn't infight, which was good. But it's really because we had more important things to do. I'm like,
Yeah,
I'm really pissed at you for not showing up here and not doing your part. But right now, I don't have time to get in an
yeah,
argument with you about it. This sounds very old school, and I'll probably get in trouble for saying it, but I think that if you look at like the groups of people that have really dominated comedy, it's the underdogs. It's Jewish people, it's Black people, it's Latina people, it's Irish Catholics. It's We're not usually the winners.
right,
There's
right,
not that
right.
many funny Germans. Like it's a
It's
cultural
true.
it's a cultural way to deal with bullshit and dog shit. Humor for some groups is the knee jerk reaction. And
Yeah, you
that's
don't
what we
see a lot of like handsome white men over 6 feet tall doing a lot of comedy.
why
Not a
would
lot
they
of Tom
why
Brady's.
would they bother? Right. Like, you go through a famine, if you made it,
Yeah.
some of it's got to be funny in retrospect, right? I mean, you got to there's nothing else
Yeah.
to do, but and then every new group that's like not at the top of the list, there's a go to LA, there's a ton of funny Filipino guys in the club, girls and guys, men and women. Like it's the next group and the next group, but it's never the handsome, it's what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's Tom Brady and his friends aren't doing going old Mike night. They don't have to.
So what was your relationship like with your dad other than not a lot of attention? Like, did he have a nickname for you or like what did you
Oh, we had a
bond on?
blast. I mean, he was a fun, very interactive, good time Charlie. Like you always felt like somebody cared. It just was a vote by committee. There's a lot of people here, and somebody will announce what we're doing. I just waited for announcement. Been awesome for the last 30 years. We had a little rocky time there, but and now then you just see him get old and old and old, and you're like, well, it was a fun ride. That's all you can say. Like we had a blast.
How did your relationship change with them as they got like truly older, and started
Uh,
having health problems and all that?
they're very contentious and they're very opinionated. She was a nurse and he was a lawyer and a judge. So you're not
Okay,
going to
yeah.
wait. You're not going to win the medical argument, and you're not going to win the logical argument. There's no winning. There's no winning. She was a nurse for 50 years. Blah blah blah. That's one of the neurologists. After my dad had a fourth stroke, he goes, "Well," I go, What are we dealing with? Like, what's the prognosis?" He goes, "Well, the brain is very mysterious." I'm like, "I know that, but I thought you went to some school and stuff to try to unravel that. And that's your gig, right? Don't tell me it's a mystery. Fucking know it's a mystery." And then he goes, "Well, you take them home. Your mom said she was a nurse, and this is a joke in my act, but I go, in the Civil War, sir. Look at her. She's not a modern person. She'll make him bite on a stick and shoot whiskey and break his goddamn leg. You have no idea that she has zero bedside manner." No, he's not. We're not doing that. We're not giving an 83-year-old with four strokes to another 83-year-old who weighs 100 pounds soaking wet. Like, she can't let, what? No, 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 no. But they were contentious. That's when people go, "Well, your dad's really sick, but you got your mom around. That's good." I'm like, is it? Because if it was just him, we
Yeah,
could dominate.
right.
But when it's the two of them,
And it's nobody's coming into my house. Is that the
oh,
number one?
oh,
Yeah.
oh, and nobody's definitely going in the basement. I'm like, "What's in the basement? Do you have like a meth lab? What the fuck is going on in the basement that
She
you
didn't want
both
people to go
you
in there?
well, no, they both reacted like that. Not in the basement. Whoa. And then I said to my sister, "Weird shit must be. Have you been in the basement lately?" Like, we all were texting each other, like, What's in the basement?" My brother goes, "Super creepy dolls. I'll tell you that. Don't sleep down there. They look real in the middle of the night. Scared the shit out of me." Like, I don't know. But I feel like if I just had one at a time, I could win the battle of, I do know better than you now.
Yeah.
I know you think I'm still 12,
Right. No,
but
that's totally the way it goes. I mean, I do want to say, my mom also super creepy dolls, because the thing is, they've been keeping these dolls forever. 1955, they made really creepy porcelain
yes, they're
face.
porcelain. Yes.
Weird.
And the eyes sort of blink with any kind of movement or whatever. They blink
Yeah, they're
weirdly,
like a
like,
Paris Hilton doll where they've got like this straw
yes.
blonde hair and these blinky eyes, and the face is like this frozen porcelain, like Botox face. And you're just like, wow, hot
Yeah.
doll, but like, why
Yeah.
also wearing like some sort of weird, like, like a communion gown? Like, they're
Yeah.
always
Yeah. Yeah.
wearing,
Yeah. The
like,
clothes are creepy.
is
Then
this
they went
like
and
the
bought,
frozen baby that died, or what is this thing? But I think the funniest thing to me is when, because my mom is like way in the place where I'm taking care of her now, right? Like, I got the power of attorney,
okay.
I'm paying the bills, I'm doing the whole thing. It's
Oh,
an
wow.
enormous amount of money, and the money just goes. It just flows. It's flowing away. You're taking care of a sick person for years. But so many people, when I talk to them, say, "Well, my parents won't let anybody in their house, not even a house cleaner, and the house
Oh,
just
yeah.
has grime." Like, right, that's like the first time people notice like something's
Yeah.
weird, is the grime, whether it's like on a kitchen table, on the stove, or
Yeah.
someplace where you're like, your mom always had it like perfect and now it's disgusting. And I'm just like, do you have any idea how expensive this is going to be? Like, you don't want to let these people in because I'm not paying $100 for a housekeeper. I clean my own house. And you're like, do
Oh,
you know
yeah.
you're about to spend your entire life savings taking care of yourself? That's actually
Yeah.
what's about to happen. So the $100 for the housekeeper per week should be all right. Like,
Yeah, right.
you
Yeah. I
know?
also think there's some sort of, I don't know if it's with people like my mom's age or some sort of pride thing that they don't want another
Yeah.
woman coming in there. And I'm like, "Yeah, but mom, like, sometimes it's an eyesight issue." I'm like, "You think this stove is clean right now?" "Yeah." I'm like, "Oh, okay, okay. Well, either my vision's really bad or yours is."
Right.
And you're 83 and I'm 58. So which one
Yeah.
is it? Yeah, I don't I don't know how normal people, so like Lewis Black, the comedian, he's a friend of mine. And his mom lived at 104 and his dad lived at 101. And he had it, and Lewis always said, "I am fortunate. I got lucky. I have a career that I've made a lot of money." And he had a brother who passed away. So it's just Lewis. Lewis is in charge
Yes.
of all this, 101, 104-year-old. And he said, "Kathleen, how do normal people pay for all this? I said, they don't, Lou. Their parents would have been dead 10 years ago, A, or B, they'd be in some Medicare shithole in a
Right.
bed that you don't want to go.
Medicaid. Yeah.
Medicaid, sorry,
Yeah.
Medicare.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
I finally, I
Medicare
had to,
doesn't pay for
I no,
anything, as
no,
we know.
I had to learn all that last
Yeah.
year. I went to Medicare and Medicaid school and was like, oh, okay, let's Google all that shit. Um, and he said, well, this is just awful that his mom and dad stayed in their apartment forever because Lou could afford to have a team come in and help
Yeah,
them
no,
every
he
day,
has been on this show. He's been on this show, and I
every
asked
day.
him, and he was like, it was not really a problem. Like I was a working comedian from like 1995, like back when they paid people so much money, and he was on the Daily Show and he was everywhere. Remember
He's
back
got the
then?
money.
He was, yeah. So that
But
worked
he's
out
still
nicely for
his
him.
it did, but he's still at the end of the day, Lou is still basically Bernie Sanders and a hippie socialist. And he keeps thinking of how do normal people. I'm like,
Right.
they don't, Lou. They
Yeah.
don't. They don't get to keep them there. They get kicked out of there. And then they go end up in some horrible shithole. And
Right.
that's how, or like in my dad's place, when they would say somebody, this person's needs to go home, my sister would be like, well, they just because they don't have the money. I go, yeah. I go, and she's like, where does that end up? I go, in a trailer on a couch in pain because they don't have pain medicine. Hopefully drinking some beers and smoking some Marlboro Reds and just get out of here. Like
Right. Yeah.
because the money, that's the other thing. There's seven of us. So everybody can throw in something. There are those of us that make more than others, fine. That everybody's been quite generous with money and no complaining and whatever. But I mean, I don't know how normal people. It depends on whatever's wrong with your parent, but like memory care, oh my god,
Yeah.
how much?
Yeah.
All my friends, my parents didn't have memory issues. Thankfully, they had other issues, but the memory care one can go on for a decade.
Right. For a
I
decade
mean,
at, at thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars per month. I mean, I do have to say that I think, somebody said to me, a lawyer said to me, and I think this is actually sort of true, observing aides, like if you've worked with healthcare aides, like, do you think a healthcare aide who's being paid through Medicaid, who's doing this in part, no, 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 she said, listen to this. She was like, she's doing this, she may be doing this in part because her parents went through this experience and this is what she's
maybe,
choosing to do. Maybe if you
maybe.
find a good one, maybe is not going to give worse care. I'm talking about home care, right? Where it's like
Right,
one-on-one home care and Medicaid, America's pushing people to stay at home because now they realize like, oh my God,
right,
baby
right,
boomers are getting older. There's no way we can support all these people in
right,
nursing facilities. Like we'll go under
right.
as a country, right? So if you're at home and you have a Medicaid aid, yeah, you're probably gonna have to switch out the aid like 8 times till you find a good aid. But there are people for whom, like, yeah, you have a much higher hit rate if you're a billionaire and you got,
Yes,
you can pay a lot. Yeah, you're gonna get a good rate right off the bat, probably, or the first or second one. This might be
yeah.
like the ninth or tenth one, but you can. I've been shocked by how many people for whom like taking care of the elderly is a calling. I will say not for me, but I have a friend who was a hospice volunteer. There's like 500,000 hospice volunteers in the United States, like death doula type ladies and
Right, right,
men who are doing
right.
that volunteer
Yeah, yeah. I
helping,
mean, well, there
you know?
are, I'd say, half of the people that show up here are angels, and the other ones just haven't gotten their wings yet. But they're not
Yeah,
angels. And
right.
one of the that's the other thing too, because then you have to hope your parents don't fire the people. Like
Yes.
what, like Lou's mom fired somebody every week, and Lou would
Yeah.
be like somewhere out of he'd be like in San Antonio and call me and go, "She fucking did it again." I'm like, "Who did what, Lou?" My mom. She got you fired, so to blah blah blah. I'm like, call the people, Lou. But I mean, he's trying to do a career and all this
No,
stuff. And
my mom would just lock them out. Like they'd go out to take the garbage out, and then the door was just like locked. You couldn't get back inside. And then they're like calling me, and I'm like calling my mom. She's like, I hate her. No, she's not coming back in here. I mean, it's like, okay,
I was
I
in,
guess I'll come and take care of you.
I was in Denver and I had shows and this weird number very early in the morning, like and I'm in Mountain Time or whatever, and I see this number and I'm like, And then, but when your parents get old, you answer every call because you
Right.
don't know who the fuck. This could be something very serious. So I'm like, hello, and she's like, hi, this is Christy, and I can't come. I'm like, I don't know. I'm sorry, Christy. What's your thing? What do you? How do I know you? I don't know. She goes, this is Kate. I go, close enough. I'll be Kate. I said, she goes, I'm filling in for, Rachel or whomever, and they can't go see your daddy. So I was gonna go and promised I would. I mean, this is what's
Oh my
happening
God.
on the road where you're like, so then I have to call my sister, and then one of them, he did look like a meth head. I agree, this guy, and he's in the house. My mom goes, I'm firing him right now, but you're gonna do it. I go, mom. She goes, well, I go, I'm gonna give him $100 cash and tell him thank you, but my mom is doesn't feel that well, and we're just gonna. But I
Yeah.
I gave him $100 to leave. I
Yeah.
mean,
You
because
got
I'm
to
like
do it.
he did show up.
Right.
He does have sores on his face, and he's definitely a meth head. But then you call the agency, and they're like, "Oh, we're very sorry about that." Okay, well, but all right, but we still got to find some. I
Yeah,
don't know.
you
You
got to get
have
somebody there. I mean, that's the thing. It's like a babysitting job, basically. It's like,
have to be.
well, I'll get, Louise down the street. Okay, fine, she's 11, but whatever, bring her over, Like,
Well, I
who
agree with
cares?
you that there are some very well-intentioned ones. And
There
almost
are.
almost
Yeah.
almost as a Catholic, saintly. I almost would put them in my saintly category. But there's a lot out there that are just taking that minimum wage gig because they can get it. And the amount this is what's disgusting in this is so maddening. Once I found out how much the service, it was like
Right.
30 bucks an
Yeah.
hour, right? Over, they're
Yeah.
getting like 24
Right, right, right,
and giving
right,
the,
right.
the 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 meth head who can't get
Yeah.
another gig, so they hired him. I mean, I called the dude in charge of that one service, and then he kind of knew that I was like a known public figure person, and I think he thought I was gonna sue them because the one lady stole their credit cards. I mean, it just goes on and on and on and
Oh
on.
God. Yeah.
Because think of how easy that is. They could
Yeah.
just take my dad's wallet and go, "Oh, look, here's your credit cards, Jack."
No, you definitely need to lock up all the jewelry and lock up all the money. And yeah, it's strangers in your house. I mean, but you can find ones that are good. Like I have ones right now that are like saving my life, allowing me to sit here and talk to you. Like there are people who I do think are good, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's hard because it's like a facility also, you go to a facility, you might not be the best care ever, but they're in there and safe. And if they fall, somebody's coming. And, it's not this like weird sort of catch as catch can, who's showing up today, it's whoever the service sends.
Right,
There
right.
is
And then
that side of
they're
it.
not showing up, and then whoever you or me or siblings or
Yeah.
whatever are getting texts and calls. No one's coming today. And my mom was counting on that. How's she going to get to the grocery store because now the person isn't coming? Also, I will agree with my mom. She goes, you cannot tell me that you don't think it's awkward that Cheryl's just sitting in our living room. I said, yes, it's very awkward because then you got to make conversation. You don't want somebody to feel, but I also said, Cheryl, the whole basement, albeit creepy, Cheryl doesn't know about the dolls. I'm like, you can go down there and just play on your phone or
Yeah.
your iPad. TVs are down there. Well, no, my job is to be here. I'm like, yeah, but we're actually would prefer it if you do you and we do. My mom's
Yes.
weirded out. I just always
Yeah.
blame it
Yeah.
on her. I'm like, my mom's weirded out. She's, a little spectrumy, a
Yeah.
little bit of the tism there. Just she can't. She's not
Too
good
much
socially.
Tylenol, too
Yeah,
much
yeah, yeah,
Tylenol in her
yeah, yeah,
pregnancies, in her
yeah.
seven pregnancy, or her mom's
It
probably
from her
14
mother that was
pregnancies.
born in 1900. Right, so much Tylenol was available back then.
Yeah.
I'm like, how about the cocaine cough syrup back then? Nothing on that. Okay, but there's none of it that seems to, with all of my friends who have money, friends who don't have money, and people in the middle, people who have spouses, people who don't. Nothing seems to work well. It takes
Yeah.
forever to get to an okay running speed. And I mean, okay, barely, barely.
Yes.
It's not like, oh, it's great. I have Jane and Mike and they're wonderful. I never hear those stories. Never. No, 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 no,
Yeah,
no.
it's all just been such a joy and a blessing. Really, what I feel is this is the most satisfying time in my life. Like, yes, you don't hear any of that. No goopification of any, yeah, it's not none of it seems like a sophisticated middle-aged lady,
No,
thing to do. It's not like you're not hormones and Ozempic and oh
right,
wait, everybody forgot to talk about the part where half of us are taking care of our parents and pulling our hair out every night. Like,
right,
oh,
right.
okay. Um, but so has it been a struggle for you to find humor in this or not at all?
Not really at all, because I think because I have so many siblings around that we deal with them, and then we would go get beers and pizza or something and just laugh about what could you believe it when mom said blah blah blah, because she's very socially awkward around new people. He's
Yeah.
not. And then whatever happened after like stroke three, my dad was usually like a type A fun guy, but a go-getter type A. We're getting up at 6, we're gonna paint the barn, we're going for a hike, and we're going hunting, and we're gonna do this. But it was like he was on edibles, and he was just a so agreeable guy that it was like a different dad, and I was like, "I kinda like edible dad." Like,
Yeah.
he's never been as casual where I'm like, "Hey, we're gonna do A, B, and C." Me telling him what to do, and he'd be like, "Okay, that sounds great." Like, I was like, "Oh, okay, I didn't get any backlash, no feedback, nothing.
Yeah,
Wow,
yeah.
wow, thumbs up." We laughed a lot, but I mean, all of it, my sister's ignoring her household. She's got 3 young teenagers, a husband, dog, 2 cats. I'm trying to do the road. I'm flying from God knows where. And then my mom would just act like I came from, 2 exits down. I'm like, I was in Seattle yesterday. Fucking Seattle, mom.
Yeah.
Well, I thought you were coming earlier. Well, I couldn't make the plane go earlier. Like, there were times where you were just like, and everyone else, like my brother has a full-time job and a wife and kids. Everybody's got shit going on. That's the bad part. Good part about having younger parents, I'm older. I'm my own boss. I can do whatever I want. My younger
Right.
siblings are in their 40s. They don't have all that freedom yet. They don't have
Yeah.
all the money yet. They don't have,
Yeah.
I have all that. So I'm more flexible, but I still got to keep the job, guys. Like, I still got to keep going. Like, I can't just go, well, I'll just quit this year. I mean, I guess I could technically, but it's going to throw off the whole rhythm. And no, we
Right.
can't. I mean, if I'm going
Yeah.
to keep doing it, I have to keep doing it. I don't know what I feel like they've also my sister go at one time goes, "I don't remember all of our great aunts and uncles, like, I don't remember all this shit happening to them." I go, "'Cause they died of whatever they
Yeah.
had. Dad should have died 3 heart attacks ago. We shouldn't even gotten into stroke land,
Yeah,
but he
yeah,
got
yeah,
stents." They
yeah.
keep them living. My mom's missing a lung, a
Oh my
breast,
God.
uh, all of the lymph nodes are gone. I do a joke with a Monty Python character. If you cut her head off and went like this, totally hollow. Like, I don't even know how my mom's speaking. So we keep them living,
Yeah.
but we don't think about what do we do when they hit, like back in the old days, like my mom had lung cancer and they removed that lung. She's fine.
Hmm.
Great, 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 great. But back in the old days, she would have died at 66. My dad's
Yeah.
heart attacks would have killed him. We are a new group of
Right.
people.
Yeah.
Occasionally, like my mom's grandma made it to 102 and lived in the house with everybody. Back then, if you're a big, you know, ethnic family, the old people just live with you.
Oh, sure.
That's how.
My grandparents lived with me like 6 months out of the year, Greek, right? 6 months out of the year with me. Then, that was when it was cold in Canada because they would go for the summertime to Canada to my father's brother.
Oh,
So
nice.
they had
I
a
mean, they
snowbird
didn't
life.
they didn't really even have like nursing homes per se
Right.
back then. So you have an
Yeah.
old person, you're taking them home. You deal with it. And however they dealt with it, which is kind of what I feel like we're going back to.
Yeah, I think we might go back to that, but the problem is then it becomes me and you trying to take care of them, right? Because there's
Well,
like
right.
this rickety, as we described, this rickety system where, wh- who's paying for the people to take care of the people? Like that's
Well,
the trick of it.
And also, if the people like Christy, who called me in Denver, just can't come take care of my daddy, now it's on my mom, who's 83, weighs 100 pounds soaking wet. At one point, she goes, I think I tore my rotator cuff. And jokingly, I go, what are you, Bob Gibson? He was a pitcher for the Cardinals. She goes, no, lifting your dad, she knows how to do it properly. But I mean, also, we're not really qualified. That's what I told the neurologist. I go, here's the thing. When he said about her being a nurse, and I
Yeah,
fired that back, I said, he's a money guy. He works for Price Waterhouse. I don't even know what that means. I'm a comedian. She's a stay-at-home mom. None of us are qualified to take care of like this kind of care. We're
right,
just, no matter how much I want to, even if I took off work for a year,
right.
I'm going
Yeah,
to hurt myself. I'm 100 pounds. I don't know how to lift dead weight. My dad was not 5'8", 145 soaking wet, but dead weight 145.
right. That's very different. That's
Good
very
luck.
different. Yeah,
Good
yeah,
luck.
yeah,
It
yeah.
took me and my two of my sisters to like move him, like, because
Right.
it's just,
Yeah,
uh,
exactly. And then there's a
I don't know.
fall, and then the
Oh, the
fall,
falling,
like,
and then the fire
destroys
department.
everything. Yeah. And you're just like, okay. And now you're in the emergency room. The great thing in New York City is like you can't get in a hospital unless you go through the emergency room. Like they don't admit you. And then you get
Right,
delirium for being in the emergency room for 10 hours. And I was just like, well, what the hell? Why do we even bring you here? Just let's go back to Civil War era. We'll get some cement. We'll
right.
fix up your back with whatever's broken back
Yeah.
there and call it a day. I mean, it's
The falling. This is where I do this in my new special, but this truly happened in real life. My mom, well, at one point, my dad tried to get off the couch. This is after like stroke 2 or 3. His balance was pretty bad, and she goes, "Jack, sit down. You have brain damage." I'm like, "Mom, you don't have to yell that. You don't have." She's like, "No, we've had the fire department here 7 times in the last 18 days. Do you think that's normal, Kathleen? He has a favorite fireman. Just think about that." And he did. There was a big guy that could get him up. And then my one of my younger brothers goes, "How much do we pay for that?" I go, "Nothing." He goes, "Whoa, whoa, it's free? Like if you fall down?" I go, "Yeah, that's half of what the time the
they do.
firemen spend doing the picking old people
That's
up
what
off
they're
the floor."
doing. I know.
But
That's
I, but
seriously their
I said,
job.
it's the one time I feel like mom and dad's taxpayers are going to work. Let's get some people over here. Let's get a
That's right.
crowd. Let's pick
Yeah.
Jack up, put him back on the couch.
Exactly.
The
I know. I
falling.
thought it was just about the cats in the trees, but it turns
I
out
did
that it's
too.
the old
No,
people on the floor.
and then like other people, my mom and dad live in this area, like, and there's a lot of old people in the subdivision, and they're like, they know the fireman. They're like, "Oh, you got Sean, he's really cute." Like they know the fireman, everybody in the block. I'm like, these firemen are probably like, this is not what I thought was gonna happen. Like I thought I was gonna be like on Chicago Fire, and there'd be hot chicks, and I'm gonna save things, and instead they're just picking up old people. But that's what we've come down to, that's who's going to do it, because I can't do it. I cannot
Right.
pick him up anymore. Maybe all
No.
of us can, but what are we
Yeah.
doing if we're doing that? But then you feel bad if they're in any way, shape, or form coherent. You don't want to take them to any kind of facility, and
Right.
that's where we were thankful after the third stroke. My dad kind of knew, but not 100%. So it
Yeah.
wasn't so sad. It
Right.
wasn't. We're like, "You're just here for a while, man, and we're gonna do some stuff." Okay, very agreeable. Edible dad was so agreeable. "I'll be back in the morning with a McDonald's shake." Okay, that sounds great. Okay, like it wasn't so
It's
sad.
true.
Like
Yeah.
my friend Bob's mom, it's a memory care thing, and he had to put her in a place, and she kind of knows at times, this is not my home. When am
Yeah.
I going home? And then it's really sad because you feel like you left if that's your favorite person,
Right.
you put them in this place after you promised a million times you wouldn't.
Right, right, right. But sometimes
Yeah.
there's like, no choice and you got to do. I mean, I actually think that this Bruce Willis wife, who's been like making the rounds talking about her book,
Yeah.
she's that somebody said, "Well, why do you put them in a separate house?" She's got two teenage girls or maybe even a little younger. She put him in a separate house for, all of his care because he's really
Yeah.
not doing well. And people were like, why is she doing that? Why is she taking him out of the house? And her comeback, which is actually great, she was like, you don't get to judge me. Like, you don't get to
Right.
judge. I'm a
Right.
caregiver. This woman, she's like in her mid 40s. You think she wants this? Like, she gets
Well,
married
it's
to this awesome, famous actor, and now
right,
she's
right.
like it's sort of like, Ivana Trump once said when they asked her, why are you dating all these young, like Italian playboys? She was like, I'd rather be a babysitter than a nursemaid. And she's sort of right. You're gonna marry like you're
Yeah.
gonna
Right.
marry a guy who's 25 years older than you. You never know what's gonna happen.
Well, I also thought with whatever that lady's name is that married Bruce Willis, a lot of people don't understand, and this could sound selfish, I suppose, but really not when there's a million of us kids and spouses and all. To put him in a different house, it's apparently like a mile away, the Bruce Willis
Right.
deal.
Yeah.
He's very close by. It will do everyone a little good.
Yes.
Because if you have him in the home, full-time care, the teenagers now, should they see that? Yes, it's your father. You should know what's going on. Like that, yes. But full-time, the entire effect really isn't great for anyone.
Yeah.
If you can separate it and go, let's like we would leave my dad at 7 o'clock at night. It was getting dark in the winter. Great, great, great. He thinks it's nighttime. And we'd all go, we had separation time. We'd all go grab a pizza and then who's going back tomorrow? But everybody got their own time too.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna go crazy.
Yeah.
I think on some level, if you try to do it all, that lady's going, look, I got two teenage kids. We can't live any kind of normal life, but we could put him over here and he sleeps half the day. And then we could go to the visit on these hours, but in our home, we're going to function as we're alive. And these
It
girls,
makes sense. It makes
I,
sense,
I thought it did, but I don't think until you've gone through that, that it would be hard to understand how you could do that. But I can understand why
Yeah,
she
yeah,
did it.
absolutely. And like she seems very like a highly intelligent, thoughtful person. Like I actually was sort of surprised when I saw some interviews, TV interviews with her. I was like, it's just everybody in our culture loves to say like, oh, you're this beautiful young woman. You must like just want to go to your, expensive exercise class in your S&M clothing. I don't know what you want to do, lady,
Right.
but there's something bad about you. But like, so have you like thought about what you want to tell other people? Like, what have you learned other than this whole thing sucks? Like, what would you tell a friend who's starting to have to go through this?
Well, I would say, but this is also because I really, really love my dad. So I don't know
Mhm.
if your feelings are different about a parent, but if it's one of your favorite people, if it's your mom or your dad, it's like one of your favorite people. I keep telling my friend Bob, you won't regret anything you're doing
Right.
now.
Okay.
It
Yeah.
seems extremely overwhelming and extremely bothersome and frustrating. And then, like they'll snap back sometimes and shit where it's like, that's not your real personality, but whatever, they're old. I don't have one bit of regret.
Yeah.
Not one. And I mean, it was a crazy, crazy 2.5 years of, yeah, I mean, I'm like, why won't you move? You live at the Lake of the Ozarks. It's 3 hours from St. Louis, 3 hours. Can you, no, we're not moving.
You
What are you
mean closer to
crazy?
you
It
or
would
to,
closer, just go to a city, St. Louis
yeah,
or
yeah,
Kansas
yeah.
City. I don't care. I have siblings in both. I've got cousins, like a
Yeah.
million cousins, and they're all super helpful. I'm like, if
Yeah.
we could just scoot you two down the road
Right.
that way, either
Yeah.
way, you could pick east or west. Uh, I would just say you won't regret it. That would be so. Do it if you can. If it's like Bob, his mom's his favorite person. My dad was my favorite person. I don't regret it at all. Other than that, I don't know. It's going to be horrible. Try to find somebody good at math. Try to find somebody who's not like I'm a. I can. I don't have a temper, but I get very frustrated very quickly with the paperwork and the bullshit.
Yeah.
And it's better to have like my one sister is very anal and very, very step linear. We just give it to Mary Ellen. I go, I can't look at this shit, Mary Ellen. And she'll go, okay, so I've done all the work and she enjoys the project.
Right. Yeah,
Find
yeah, yeah, yeah.
find help. That would be the other thing I think now that I'm saying it out loud is find what you're good at and then find out what if you're not good at the
Yeah.
paperwork, find somebody, if you gotta pay them,
Yeah.
whatever, if you
Yeah.
can, if you can
If you
afford it.
can. If you
But
can. Yeah. Otherwise, you're just going to feel like you're working in the DMV every day of your life, which
yes, and
is
you're not
like,
gonna enjoy the time you have left if there was time you wanted to enjoy, because it's
how
gonna
did
be
you
eaten
find the
up.
joy in those, last years? Like how did
I don't know, like, I remember, so there's that Ted Turner classic channel where it's like black and white cowboy movies or whatever, and me and my sister and my dad was like eating a shake, like he wasn't really eating, it was sort of a hospice situation, but his brain was still kind of okay. We're watching this black and white movie. It's so old that this guy in the movie gets mad at this beautiful blonde lady who's supposed to be his wife or something. I don't know, but he hits her. And then a guy kills him for hitting her. My dad goes, "She wasn't worth it. She's not that cute." I go, "I was just thinking the same thing. Like, if you're gonna take a bullet, this lady's like kind of okay." But I go, "But Dad, out on the prairie, they're on the prairie. What was there to pick from?" Like, we were laughing so hard. I go, "Do you even know the show?" He goes, "It was on when I was a kid, like when I was 8." I don't remember the name of it. It's like before Gunsmoke. Some super where it was just okay to hit a chick in a show. And they had Mexicans played by white guys that had on like the Mexican mustaches. I never see this channel, like stuff like that. It's
Yeah.
so stupid and it's so small, but we laughed our asses off. I'm like, oh my God, look at the people they have playing Mexicans. There were Mexicans, there were Mexicans available then. And instead they've got these white guys with crazy Frito Bandito.
Yeah. I know I watch a lot of old movies now with my mom, none of which I've ever seen. Like I'm just like, okay,
Yeah,
we're time traveling now. We're back in time,
right.
right?
You
Because that
just
stuff
gotta
is
do.
comforting. Like they want that.
Yeah, yeah, he
Yeah.
liked it. We watched, well, and I'm like, "Could we find anything sadder?" That like we were watching, I don't Brian's song or something like that. I said to my sister, "No, no, 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 nay, nay, nay. We're not going to Brian's song. We're already all sad enough. He kind of knows
Yeah.
he's dying. We know it." Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. We have a lot of fun memories, and like this special that I got coming out on Amazon, there's probably a 20-minute chunk of all of this. And but I feel like Irish people, that's what we do. Like, we just gotta, you will end up laughing at all of it because life is ridiculous. It's really ridiculous when you think about it, so you might as
You
well
have
laugh.
to laugh at it. I mean, I think if you don't, you won't make it through, but well, so tell me about that Amazon special. When is it coming out and what's the name of it? I assume it's your name.
Well, you have to, so for Amazon, you have to use your name. They want that on there. Like, they want your picture and they want your name.
Okay,
They've made that very clear.
great.
But I will, this is
You
the
are a
funny,
supermodel, so they should be
well,
happy. It's
exactly,
like you and
right,
Kaya
right.
Gerber
Come
are,
on.
yeah.
I'm as cute as the beagle next door. This is a final thought though that made me laugh very hard. So Amazon, because I do have all these jokes about my parents, like a 20-minute probably chunk,
Yeah.
they were like, "Yeah, do you think you're if we emailed your parents and then they could docu-sign some release statements that they will not sue us for these jokes?" And I said, "Look, I've made a living for 35 years making fun of those two yahoos." I go, "I'm going to do better than give you their email. I'm going to give you their cell phones. You try to call them. You try to,
Amazing.
they haven't opened email in 20 years. Oh, and you think they could docu-sign and then send it back? I go, if you're putting that on me, no, I ain't doing it.
Yeah.
But I will give you all the information. You contact Jack and Vicky. You do
Yeah.
it. And I think all of a sudden the email stopped. So I think they heard me loud and clear. So
Amazing.
I'm excited because I think there's a lot of other people that are my age that are going through or even 10 years younger than me that are going through versions of this where we're all like, are we supposed what are we supposed to do? What do you
I
mean I
know.
have to learn about Medicare and Medicaid and then I have to learn about appealing with United Health and then they all come in and go, "Oh, they deny everything. Just keep appealing." Okay, bye. Like, so I think it's a
Tonight
good
I'm gonna
subject.
binge watch a show and appeal to United Health.
It's
Like,
exactly what was going on. And then
yeah.
I kept saying, and everybody knows it, Kathleen's bad at math and science. That also means Kathleen's bad at computer chores. Very bad. Others of you in this family are better at that. You do it. I'll deal with them in person. I'll go watch a movie with them. You do the, I mean, but
Yeah.
again, I have a lot of, I have a lot of people on my bench. You got nobody on your bench. Nobody,
I got
Vanessa.
nobody. I
You gotta
got
hire
nobody.
people. You're gonna have to hire people to be on your bench.
I know. I have to, I know. That's the thing. I have to get some paid friends. I have to
You
get some
gotta
paid
go.
relatives. Although I don't even have any family closer than Chicago. I live in New York. I mean, that's like
Oh
really
no.
intense.
Uh,
So, but okay, so we're gonna watch the
anyway,
Amazon special. We're gonna listen to Madigan's podcast, which is
yeah.
your podcast, which is just you, all the different thoughts that float through your mind, and it's
Yeah.
awesome and funny and like a best friend to have in your car. And what else? What else is coming up?
I don't know. I'll be doing a bunch of press for the Amazon deal, but I don't know what that is. That's Katie, that wonderful lady that's joining us in the secret box over there. Katie will be in charge of me. I don't know. I just
Okay.
know I have two outfits that are suitable for television.
Well, we will look forward to
So,
seeing you in those outfits. Thank you so much for
all
coming
right.
on. So Your Parents Are Old. You are awesome, and I'm a huge
Good
fan.
luck. Good
Thank
luck
you.
with your parents.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Go
You're
bye.
awesome.